Welcome to the Lebanon Leprechaun Show, presented by FTIC. I'm Dave Peach, and we are back here in the Weibo studios. Big thank you to Matt Foxworthy and everyone here for the Lebanon Leprechaun Show 2026. And what a year it has been for the Leprechauns so far. 5-1. Joining us, Hunter Bodie from Cincinnati, Ohio. You played overseas, now you're in the TBL. How has this team, I mean, you look at this team, what has made this team to where they are 5-1 right now?
First thing to start, you got an incredible voice for broadcasting. I just have to say that. But back to the question. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, you got some pipes too.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe you want to sit on this side sometime.
Maybe we can. Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we got a great group of guys. Ultimately, I like coming from a standpoint of God. I truly think that God has his hand on this team here, because I've been on teams consistently that tend to lose, and I pay attention to the personalities and attributes of people. And in the beginning of the season, there were some signs of attributes and personalities that could take us to downhill. But the growth that I've seen off the court of these players, I think, is the key contributor to us getting the 5-1. Obviously, we are very high level and can play basketball very well, but I think it was a lot of people's ability to humble themselves and willingness to either sit on the bench or listen to another player, because as us men and listening to another man telling you what to do, sometimes it doesn't feel the right thing or feel the right way. But I think God's hand is on this team, and he's trying to work something great with us.
Last night, the big win over Kokomo on St. Patrick's Day, 138 to 132. You had a double-double. You had 10 points and 11 rebounds. There were other double-doubles as well, and you got to watch it, because some of these players get double-doubles, points, assists. We had that going on. But talk about Derek Hawthorne, 10 threes, breaking the franchise record by 2, including 4 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think the biggest, Hawk is always going to do what he's going to do, and anytime he shoots the ball, I trust that his intuition is, this is the right shot for me. I think the biggest thing was when he was on the bench and he got subbed into the game. He had one defensive possession. The next offensive possession that he came off the bench, corner, hit the 3. And from then on, he was just on fire. And that shows the capabilities of him. Is when you come off the bench, sometimes you need a possession or two to catch a rhythm even. But he got in right away and got straight to business, and he did what he ultimately had to do and pull away with a win for us. It was an incredible performance. I was a fan on the bench of him.
39 points in the game, and again, 10 made threes. Omega Harris, 23 points, 13 assists, 4 steals, 8 rebounds. I mean, that, we say stat stuffer. That is, I think, second level stat stuffing.
Yeah, Omega is, he is a very key player for us. He is I said in the post-game interview, he's a personality on the court and off the court. And the cool part about him is he can have a personality and still get down to business. That is a guy who I just was introduced to this year, and I know that I will have a friendship with him for life. And he is just, he's an incredible force. And my wife was even speaking. She's not that intelligent on basketball, but she was saying, how does Omega know how to do all the quick moves when it looks like he knows what's coming before it's coming? And I'm in the same amazement that she is when it comes to that with him. He's an incredible basketball player.
He's having a great year. And we talked about another double-double, Antoine Cushingberry, 12 points, 12 assists. He also had 3 steals. He's been pretty consistent all year.
He has, and every time he steps on the floor, whether it's practice or on a game, he is our energy guy. He is the guy who's willing to yell at somebody, put them in their place, but he is also willing to listen, which is a big attribute for his character, because you'll find a lot of players that are willing to point a finger at somebody, but when the finger is pointed back at them, are they willing to take that criticism? And he's able to do that, and I applaud him for it. 12 assists just goes to show he's willing to share that ball, and we are willing to score off of that because he is able to put us in those positions to score.
And the human highlight reel, Coriante DeBerry.
That is my guy. I've known Corey since I was probably 16 years old, and this is the first time.
Yeah, you're both. Well, he's out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, gotcha.
We've known each other for a while now, almost, I guess, 10 years now. But this is actually the first time we've ever played on a team together. We've always played against each other. I was telling him before the game, because he keeps telling me, we're going to get Hunter up in the air again, get him dunking again. And I said, how about you do that one time? How about you? I want to see the old Corey who just dunks all over everyone. And man, when he was out there, he performed. He was very, very efficient, even for the time that he was in, because he kept getting fouls, which are arguable, but he kept getting fouls, but he played through that, and he was able to just go out and be a force of nature. Truly, just that's what he is a force of nature.
He is. He takes up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
But he's agile, and I guess the phrase "fun to watch" kind of goes with Coriante. I mean, if you don't have fun watching Coriante DeBerry, you need to watch your fun meter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is human highlight reel is a great way to describe him.
Well, we got it. Now, you're from Cincinnati, Ohio. You went to the University of Northwestern Ohio. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
3 seasons with the Racers.
Yes, sir.
What are they? What level, and how did that go?
It's division is NAIA.
NAIA.
Yes, and prior to that, I played at University of the Cumberlands, which was down in Kentucky, same division, NAIA. But the Racers, that was the biggest reason why I became a professional basketball player. I got introduced to a trainer. His name is Radar. He's a legend in Lima, and he introduced a whole new level of basketball to me that I never really understood. I was always a player who went 100% of the time, and he asked me if I was able to play basketball at 70% or at 40%, and it kind of blew my mind. And the ability for him to have that mental switch for me was unbelievable, and just, again, God put me in a place where he knew I needed to be to learn a lot of things.
Overseas, Europe, Georgia, not the state.
Nope.
And tell us where that is, and then we know where Spain is.
Georgia is, it's on the coast of the Black Sea. I was lucky enough that my apartment was actually a 5-minute walk from the Black Sea, so I was living on that, and it's close. It borders with Turkey. It's kind of close to Russia, close to Ukraine as well too, and that was one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had in my entire life, to say the least. I've never been away from home that far. Never been away from home that far and alone. But I met some great people over there. Still I'm in contact with them. Was actually texting one of them today. I got friends for a lifetime from going over there. But it was a very difficult season for me because I had a head coach who was somewhat difficult to work with and spoke zero English.
And how was Spain?
Beautiful. Oh man, it was beautiful.
So, just like it is here in
pretty
West Central Indiana.
You just walk down and go to the beach too. Yeah.
Snow on March 17th. You know, same thing, right?
No, Spain was absolutely beautiful, and it was an incredible experience. The culture over there is unlike anything else.
Wow. So was that? I mean, as far as playing overseas, you're kind of by yourself. You're kind of by yourself.
Yes.
And how do you deal with that?
It kind of depends on the person, honestly. There's a lot of outlets that people can take, whether it be finding someone over there, maybe a significant other, going out and walking around is probably the biggest thing. But ultimately, when it comes to kind of being alone and dealing with it, I mention it every time, everywhere I'm at, is really just God. I have a friend with me no matter where I go that I can talk with all the time and be open and honest with. And understanding that the Holy Spirit is dwelling within me and I'm able to have that presence and feel the love brings comfort no matter where I am. Spain wasn't as difficult as Georgia. Georgia really isolated me because the main languages were Georgian and Russian. But Spain, I love to speak as much Spanish as I can, and I tried it as much as I could. But still, even over there were lonely moments. I had a long-distance girlfriend, and who is now my wife. But overall, it ultimately just falls back on God, because He was always there for me and always willing to listen when I had something to say.
Okay, and a couple more questions. Your journey to get to Lebanon to play for the Leprechauns.
Ultimately, I pointed back to God. The owner of our team, Chris, and our head coach, Mike, had come and seen me play in the Dizzy runs. I got invited by Kyle Guy to come play in that league. And apparently I was looked at for a year or two while I was playing in that from them. And I ultimately got a text from the team one day asking if I would come to the training camp, and I decided to do it. So I had other opportunities overseas, but they just weren't fitting enough for my wife and I just got married last year. And this team, they provided more than I could have ever asked for to support my wife and I.
And that's, I'm going to probably ask two more questions about the TBL. It gives a player like Hunter Bodie a chance to play in front of family and friends and play in the United States of America. Not that overseas is a bad thing, but this is a way to showcase your talents in the States.
Yes, it's a unique opportunity because a lot of people think it's NBA or nothing. But this gives you an opportunity and an outlet that if you still want to make a run to that, you can. And ultimately, like you said, to have friends and family here. The past 2 years, my parents were able to come out to Spain once, and that was a blessing. But every game, I'm 6 hours ahead, 8 hours ahead, so I'm getting a text the next day about how the game was and a phone call. But being able to look up in the stands and see my mom, see my aunt, see my dad, my mother, father-in-law, and all the families and friends, it's a whole nother level seeing them there rather than having the phone call.
And your faith. You gave your testimony after a ball game. Your faith in Jesus Christ is something that's central to your life, everything in your life. So tell us about that, and tell us how important it is to really lead with Christ and then have basketball be second.
Well, ultimately, the game of basketball was created to share the gospel, and started at the YMCA, the Young Men's Christian Academy. And I found this out pretty recently, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense why I'm in basketball for this long." But no, I realized that I was a sinner. I realized that the ultimate thing that every human will face is death, and I had no idea really what was going to happen after that. So I recognized that there was a man named Jesus who I grew up hearing about, but I didn't know who he was. And when I was in Georgia, I had a moment where God stripped everything of my comfort away, that the only thing left was him. And I had never felt a love like that before in my entire life. And through that, and what we call an unveiling, I started to recognize the habits that I was doing in my life that were taking me away from God, and God wanted me to dwell more with him. Jesus is everything for me. He's the breath in my lungs. And everywhere I go, I try to represent him as much as possible. I got hats. This is Psalms 84:10. I always keep the Bible with me, so I'm always able to answer questions at any time if somebody needs to be saved. But ultimately, we all will face the grave, and Jesus is the only way and a guaranteed promise to get up into heaven. And there's nothing that we can do to get ourselves to heaven. There's no such thing as ultimately a good person or good deeds or good acts. Jesus was the only good and perfect person, and he died for us. And that's a love beyond my own comprehension, a love that I can't even fathom, but I just have to accept because he loves us that much, and the creator of the cosmos wants us to have a connection with him, and it's my ultimate goal. It's what I have to do, whether I like to or not. The hounds of heaven have been on me for a while, and basketball gives me my second ministry. The first is with my wife, and second is with the team now, and just being able to represent Christ as much as I can, no matter where I go.
Hunter, we appreciate you as a person, and we like the basketball too, but ultimately it's the person that we admire. And I tell you what, it has been a pleasure to get to know you, and I can't wait to have more conversations as we move on through the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
That is Hunter Bodie, and he might be on this side someday as far as doing he's got the voice and all that. And again, Hunter Bodie for the Lebanon Leprechauns, and we'll have Chris Canal, our TMO, coming up right after this on the Lebanon Leprechaun Show presented by FTIC. Lebanon Leprechaun Show presented by FTIC, and FTIC is happy to support the Lebanon Leprechauns. FTIC is a stamping and robotic welding manufacturer located in Jamestown, Indiana. FTIC is dedicated to being active and engaged in Jamestown and all of Boone County. Find out more at fticna.com, and we thank them for sponsoring the show. And with us right now, the TMO, Chris Canal from Backroads Barbecue, and your thoughts on St. Patrick's Day 2026, the uniforms, the atmosphere, Corey, and what he had on, the kilt, and the game.
It's turned into quite the production. Fifth year, fortunate that we've had a home game, and now it's been a tradition, and I think maybe every time, if not, I know the last few years we've played Kokomo, which has been fun as well. But yeah, a lot going on. This year we added a couple wrinkles. There was an idea to create a one-off jersey that looked like the Leprechaun suit. We shared it with a few of the players early on, thought we were going to get negative feedback, being like, no way, and all of them were like, yeah, let's do it. So we wore those jerseys last night, and then we auctioned them off during the game, silent auction. Players literally took them off, signed them, and we raised money for our new Boone County Basketball Foundation, so it was a success. Wow,
we've had 4 home games, good crowds, atmosphere is fantastic, and we've been winning.
Winning isn't everything, but it helps. We talk a lot about the team and the organization being a community asset, and there's a lot of ways that we can help people and be involved. But if you win games, people like to be part of a winning team, and so people lean into it. We saw the Pacers last year, just what it means. So it is nice to win some games, and even Coach Fagans would love to win every game by 30. But when the games are tight, and we've had a few tight ones at home, it's a lot of fun. And so I think the entertainment value is also something the fans enjoy.
Head coach Mike Fagans, the GM John Benson, of course, assistant coach Tim Hurd, and everything just has been flowing well for this team. I don't want to say you're making it look easy, but with so many pieces that you throw out there, so many players, and like Hunter was saying, everybody cheering for one another, playing as a team. How did this all come together?
Well, last year being my first year and taking over late in that process, I feel like I've been around basketball my whole life and a pretty good understanding. But the first year was just really getting my sea legs, kind of figuring things out. But immediately last year, we started putting the pieces together. And I think that's really what we tried to do, is to build a team that not only had the diversity within the team and filling all those positions from a basketball sense, is we really wanted to go out and get high character players. Because a team that plays together is a dangerous team. And especially if you already have, in the TBL, all the teams are athletic, all the teams are skilled. It really comes down to how you put things together. So, we feel like we've got a really strong backcourt. We've got some front court guys that are unique, that are probably a little bit bigger and stronger than maybe some of the others in the league, and then our depth. So, then it just comes, it's all coaching, right? It's all coaching and players it's all we can do as far as putting the organization together. But yeah, it's fun. I think you call the games, and if I'm a fan watching this team, I'm enjoying it.
Now, there are several Indianapolis products. There's several Indianapolis players. Anderson, Cincinnati. It's a team that, it's an easy drive for friends and family to go see them.
Yeah, I think part of the whole thing of putting a team together is, first of all, having players that are from out of state that are living in the community. Hunter being one of them. We mentioned Coriante. Omega comes from Oklahoma City. It's important because that's part of the fabric, I think, of allowing us to get to know people from other parts of the country. But it's also nice to have people from central Indiana that are able to play in front of their family. So it's just, again, part of that blend. And 3 Warren Central players that played on the 2018 state championship team was kind of cool too. It wasn't on purpose, it just kind of happened that way. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to have Indy guys.
Well, we've got a big night coming up. We got a little time off until our next home game so we can get things going for this April 10th Country Music Night, WCDQ, our radio station. We're going to be a part of that. And we got Craig Campbell coming in. So as far as Country Music Night, it's really a full day. We've got a remote at Backroads Barbecue, anthem, and a concert.
Yeah, so one of the things this year we made a concerted effort to do is have themed nights. And it could be YMCA, Boys and Girls Club. St. Patrick's Day is kind of its own event. And we wanted to do something with FFA, 4-H, kind of leaning in that area. And Craig Campbell's a guy out of Nashville who I've got to know through one of my close friends growing up, who's been a friend of his for a long time. And so we said, why don't we bring him up? He did the national anthem at the Steelers the last Monday Night Football game. He did their national anthem. So he's a pretty prominent, well-known artist. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big night. I mean, from a fan standpoint, it's going to be fantastic, but we have a lot going on. We have the basketball game, and then we're going to go down to Four Fingers Distillery. There's going to be, actually, they have music starting at 6:30. They have 2 opening acts, and then Craig will go on sometime after the game, probably around 9:30. So that will be April 10th. It's a Friday. Your radio station over in Crawfordsville is partnering with that, and so it should be a pretty exciting evening.
It's been a great season. What would you like to say to the fans and the volunteers and everybody associated with the Lebanon Leprechauns?
Yeah, I think when somebody comes from the outside and they see all the things there, first of all, the first time you come to a game, you're really impressed with all the things going on, but it takes a lot of people. So we have a great core group of volunteers. I just say if you haven't been to a game, you need to come and check a game out, but it really is a community asset, and there are a lot of different things that are going on and different opportunities, be it if you're an organization or a small business or just a basketball fan. Bring the family out, so it's a great experience.
Chris, we look forward to, I think we're, 25% through the season, 5-1, 6 games, 24-game season.
Yep.
I think I got the math right. You can help me out. 25%, and we've got, I think, great times ahead. This team is so exciting to watch. They're dialed in, they're all together, and everything seems to be building to what is going to be an incredible run for this team as we move on through last part of March, April, May, and well into June, right?
Yeah, and I think from a basketball eye, for our basketball fans that really know the game, and the players know this as well as anybody, there's a lot of room for improvement. And I think when you're 5-1 and some things are happening, but you see all the areas that we can clean things up and improve, it really is an opportunity to make a nice run.
Chris, we thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you, appreciate it.
Chris Canal, the TMO, Lebanon Leprechauns, and again, Country Music Night, WCDQ, Craig Campbell coming to town, singing the anthem, playing a concert. And we do play the St. Louis Griffins that night. Oh, by the way, there will be a formidable foe, so it's going to be a great night of basketball. Best of the Leprechauns on the road. Thanks to Matt Foxworthy here at Western Boone. Thanks to Hunter Bodie, Chris Canal. I'm Dave Peets. That's the Lebanon Leprechaun Show presented by FTIC.